Hello, dear friends. I am Dr. Mukesh Parikh, and in this audio, let us talk about Edward II, a play by Christopher Marlowe on the theme of homosexuality. So, first of all, let me tell you the complete title of the play. The complete title of the play, which was published in 1594, its title is The Troublesome Reign, R-E-I-G-N. Reign means Rajya, empire, and lamentable death of Edward II, King of England, with the tragical fall of proud Mortimer. This is the complete title, and in short, this is known as Edward II. Uh, Actually, the story of this play is mostly found in Raphael Holinshed's Chronicles. It is a book from which Shakespeare also took most of his historical plays material. It was published in 1587. And now let me talk about the story of this drama. Actually, this is a story about the love affair of homoerotic affair between Edward II, who is newly appointed the King of England after the death of his father, and his lover Gaveston. So the play starts like Piers Gaveston is the name of this lover of King Edward. He is in exile. He was earlier sent to exile from England into France, and when the play starts, he receives a letter from his friend, who is Edward II, and now he's calling him back to England. He says that I would like to appoint you again in the power in the sense like I will give you some position in my court so that we can enjoy the relationship. And Edward II is shown here a married man, and he has sons also, but then he is in relationship with Gaveston. So we see that Gaveston, when he receives letter, becomes very happy. Now there are two reasons for his happiness. One is that he will be in the close company of his friend and lover. The second thing, that he is shown in the play as a social climber. Social climber means he will use king's affection to his own advantage. So when the play moves ahead, we see a kind of tension, and we see that before Gaveston makes his return to England known, though he has reached England, but he does not declare it, and he is hiding in some place, and then he hears that Edward II is arguing with a group of nobles. Nobles means the people of court, who consider that Gaveston is a manipulative social climber, and they all want that his exile should be continued. He should not be brought back to England. And King's brother, the Earl of Kent, he wants Mortimer Jr. Mortimer Jr. is the character, and the other nobles, that they are dangerously close to committing treason. That why don't they allow Gaveston to come back to England? But they all stand, on their decision, and they say that if King does not obey us, or King does not, follow our suggestions, we will wage a war on the King. And then when they all go, Gaveston, comes from his hiding, and he shows himself to King Edward, and he becomes very happy, and they show their union together. And this scene is very important in the play. King, we come to know that, makes him Earl of Cornwall, and gives him the authority to issue commands and draw money from the treasury in the king's name. So we can understand that this is the major cause that, which will become the major point of his downfall, that he loves Gaveston so much that he gives, powers, some of, unexpected powers, which are the powers which are not enjoyed by even the family members of the king. Then we are shown the entry of Bishop of Coventry. He arrives, and then this happy union, becomes troubled with the entry of Bishop of Coventry, and he also says that he is not happy with Gaveston's return, and he objects. But he sees that with Edward's encouragement, Gaveston assaults and imprisons the bishop, and then confiscates his property. So you can understand the tussle this is the tussle, this is the quarrel or the fight between the people of religion and the people who are in politics. And in the two poles of power and politics, there comes, a homosexual love, which is quite a very strange and very new thing, and very bold also, according to the age. And let me also tell you that Christopher Marlowe has written so many scenes of this sort, which makes it clear that he had certain homosexual tendencies. As we also see that in the sonnets written by Shakespeare, we see that there are homoerotic presences there. In the same manner, Christopher Marlowe is also considered by many critics that he had homosexual leanings. Now the play moves further, and we see that this Bishop of Coventry, when his powers are snatched, or his powers are when confiscated by Gaveston, he has so much powers now. Then we show that with this attack on Coventry, and as you all know that earlier nobility or the people of court were always against Gaveston. So, and apart from these two things, we also see in the play that King Edward is, starts neglecting his wife Isabella. And Isabella is a sister of King of France. And along with this, we see that Archbishop of Canterbury, as you all know that Canterbury is the major seat of Christianity there. And in England, before Henry VIII, the politics was always headed by the archbishops of Canterbury. Archbishops means the highest kind of priest. So we see that King of France is against the king and Gaveston relationship. His wife Isabella is also against. Archbishop of Canterbury, nobles, and in nobles there comes the name of Mortimer Jr., Mortimer Sr., the Earl of Warwick, the Earl of Lancaster. So these are positions actually. Earl is a position. So Mortimer Jr. and Mortimer Sr., who are also the Earl of Warwick and the Earl of Lancaster and the Earl of Pembroke, they all together issue an order for Gaveston's exile. So they take power in their hands. And then we see in the play that the power is exercised by the court people in the name of the love of their country. And despite their insistence that Edward the king has obligations to both the church and English nobility, they remind him that why are you just giving these many powers to Gaveston? Because you are committed to the Church of England, to the English nobility. Nobility means a kind of people who are in the parliament. And but King Edward shows his inclinations and his very partial love towards Gaveston. So the nobles forcibly arrest Gaveston then and threatens rebellion, and they say that we will rebel against king. And at this, the king reluctantly agrees that okay, then if you all want to banish or to exile Gaveston, then you do that. And a sorrowful parting follows. And this scene is also very moving scene in the play, and during which Edward promises to send money to Gaveston in Ireland. So we should also be aware about the question. We should make it a point in our copies and mind also that Gaveston came from France and now he is exiled to Ireland. Because the King of France is also the brother of the Queen of Edward. Queen's name is Isabella. So he will also not like that Gaveston should come back to France. Now, in between, we also see a very sacrificing face of Queen Isabella. That after very few days, when Gaveston departs, Isabella, tries to persuade or to make the minds of nobles that king is not happy, so why don't we bring back Gaveston to him? But at this point, Edward, he suspects her that she must have an affair with Mortimer Jr. And now this brings a kind of family feud, a family fight, where King Edward accuses Isabella that you are responsible for the exile of Gaveston. And even he stops talking to, he refuses to even speak to her while Gaveston is away. So you can see that the king is almost a kind of, in self-exile. It means he does not talk to his wife also. And then nobles agree and reasoning that recalling Gaveston will at least provide them with an opportunity to murder him. So they all plan that we will bring back Gaveston, and meanwhile we will murder the king. And naturally the nobles do not share this plan with Edward, because they are planning against Edward, and their apparent willingness to compromise brings them back into king's good grace. And king becomes happy that, oh, these people have some some kind of faith in me, and they want my goods. That's why they are bringing my lover back. And then Edward, he gives this duty to Mortimer Senior, with leading his army in Scotland. And meanwhile, in between, Edward prepares for Gaveston's return by calling Gaveston's fiancée. It means it is shown that both Gaveston also is engaged, and his fiancee's name is Lady Margaret de Clare from France. It means in the guise of married people, these two people were having illicit relationship between them. So he calls back Lady Margaret de Clare, that is Gaveston's fiancée, back to court so that the two can be married. Who? Lady Margaret and Gaveston. And Lady Margaret brings with her tutor Baldock, Baldock, and a family retainer. Family retainer means because she's from France, so she must have somebody who knows her here in the court. So she brings with her family retainer named Spencer Jr. and two men who hope to find employment with Gaveston, that they will be under the tutelage of, or under the guidance of Gaveston, and eventually becomes favorites of the king. So this is also the part of the text. Major thing is that what if I in short tell you the story, that there is a plan of bringing back Gaveston, and his fiancée is also brought, and then he's about to marry, so that king can enjoy a relationship with him under the guise of a married person. So virtually as soon as Gaveston has arrived back at court, however, another quarrel breaks out between him and the nobility. Nobility means all the courtiers. Matters only become worse, and when Mortimer Jr. learns that his uncle Mortimer Sr. has been captured and is being held for ransom by the Scotland, because he was there in the Scotland, and Edward is unwilling to pay for Mortimer Sr.'s release. So these are small questions. If you listen to the drama very carefully, you can answer these questions, that Mortimer Sr. is captured by Scotland people, and Mortimer Jr. is suspicious of the king, that king is not paying for his ransom because he's captured there. So the king should pay money to the Scotland people so that he can bring back Mortimer Sr. and to release him, which prompts the nobles to list all the ways in which they feel that king has behaved irresponsibly, because it is considered that it is the responsibility of the king, that if somebody from the nobility is captured somewhere, then the king should pay money and bring him back. So here king is because king was always suspicious of senior Mortimer. So what happens, that all the nobility is angry with the king, and they all want to attack on Gaveston, because they consider that because of Gaveston all these things are happening. The attack on the castle forces Edward and Gaveston to split up, fleeing in different directions. When the attack happens, the nobles choose to pursue Gaveston. All the nobles follow Gaveston, eventually overtaking him. Initially they agree to allow Gaveston to see Edward one last time before he is executed. They all are about to kill him. Warwick, however, is unhappy with the compromise and ambushes and kills. Ambushes means he comes from the hiding place and directly kills Gaveston there and then, as he is being escorted to the king when he is taken to king. When Edward learns of this, he swears revenge and prepares to go to war with the nobles. So you can understand the whole situation, that King Edward's beloved is killed, and now he is ready to fight with his own nobility, that is the court people. And now the king is demanding, nobility is demanding, that Edward ceases with his favoritism of Spencer Jr. as well. This is one of the characters, and King Edward forces that he succeed defeating the nobles in the initial battle, and Warwick, Lancaster, and Mortimer Jr. are all arrested. The first two are eventually executed, but Mortimer Jr. succeeds in escaping to France with Kent. This is a minor scene. There they join forces with Isabella. As I told you that Isabella is the sister of King of France, whom Edward had initially sent with their son, Prince Edward, to negotiate with France regarding Edward's claim to regain the Normandy. Normandy is the name of a place. Isabella's loyalty to her husband has finally worn thin. She is no more, faithful to her husband when she goes back to her brother's house, that is France. However, she is now trying to find allies who will help her install her son as king instead. You can understand that now she wants her own son should become the king. It means she's planning against king and she wants to kill king. So Edward believes that he can successfully curb the threat the queen poses by buying off the French nobility. But Isabella and Mortimer, who now in fact are lovers. So now another love story starts, that Mortimer and Isabella, they love each other and eventually manage to find a supporter in a nobleman named Sir John of Hainault. They can ask you this question. Sir John of Hainault is a nobleman, and king buys him actually. Together with Kent, they return to England and fight the king's forces in a battle at Bristol. This time it is Edward who is defeated. So Edward is defeated, although Baldock, Spencer Jr. and the king himself succeed in escaping to a monastery where an abbot means a kind of a person who looks after a religious temple, offers to hide them. A man who works as a mower means grass cutter, however, betrays their whereabouts. They tell the royal people that they are hiding in this church, and all three are arrested. Then Spencer Jr. and Baldock are taken off to be executed. They are killed while Edward is imprisoned in Kenilworth. Kenilworth is the famous castle and under the guard of Earl of Leicester. So we see this much story that now king is held captive. Together with the Bishop of Winchester, Leicester manages to persuade Edward to surrender his crown. Nevertheless, Mortimer Jr. quickly dismisses Leicester for being too sympathetic to Edward's plight. So we see that now conditions are out of his hands. The king is held captive and is tortured like hell. And Mortimer Jr. has made plans for Prince Edward's coronation. He is made king there. Since the new king is still a boy, so Mortimer himself, as I told you that Mortimer is the lover of Queen Isabella, himself will actually keep power in his grip as the Lord Protector, as well as the lover of Queen, who is Queen Mother now. Nevertheless, what happens that he feels his position will not truly be secure until Edward II is dead, and thereof arranges for an assassin. The name of this assassination is a word we use in English when somebody murders a royal person particularly. So Lightbone is the name of the killer is Lightbone, Lightbone, to murder him. And having sent Lightbone on his way, Mortimer quickly asserts his authority over Prince Edward. Now he is Edward III by name, and by ordering Kent's execution against the king's new wishes. Lightbone arrives at Berkeley. This scene is very sincerely portrayed. That this assassin, he arrives at Berkeley where the king is imprisoned, explains his mission to the two people who are torturing king. Their names are Gournay and Maltravers, who they don't know about him, that who is this Lightbone, have ordered to murder Lightbone as soon as Edward is dead, and they also kill him the moment king is killed. Initially, actually, they pretend to sympathize with Edward. Lightbone urges the deposed king to lie down on a feather bed, where he then kills him with a hot poker. Poker, a kind of poker is a kind of iron rod with which they settle fire or burning coals. So with this hot poker, he first of all he asks the king to lie down, and then he kills king with the with this burning poker. And then Gournay that person, who was torturing king earlier, then stabs Lightborn. He and flees. And Lightborn is also killed there. While Maltravers, the other torturer of the king, reports the crime to Mortimer Jr. As he does so, Isabella enters in a frenzy. She acts, in front of people that, "Oh, my husband is killed," reporting that Edward III has learned of his father's death and suspects both her and Mortimer of the murder. So at the end of the play, we see that, this new king, King III, he orders her mother's imprisonment until he can learn whether and how she was involved in his father's murder. Finally, orders a hearse. Hearse means a kind of carrier of the dead body to be prepared for Edward II, on which he places the severed head of Mortimer. It means his head is cut. So this is the whole story of. There are so many different characters in the play, and I hope that you must have understood the whole story. This is the story of family dispute, homosexual love, politics, power, betrayal of the king, and then just king in the name of Edward III. And again, because it's a tragedy, but we see that this tragedy is in the true sense of Elizabethan tragedy of kind, where bloodshed is shown on the stage. And here I would like to talk about Machiavellian court intrigue. Machiavelli, as you all know, that the writer of the book The Prince, and you all must have heard about Machiavelli. Machiavelli talks about only power. He says that if you have to take power in your hand, then you are allowed to do anything. So the theme of this play is the Machiavellian court intrigue. Intrigue means a kind of plot against people, and again, power, the snatching of power is the theme of this play. And again, this play is obsessed with the kind of sexuality also, that if a person is homosexual, then he does not have the quality to rule. But as we are living in 21st century, and we see that sexuality is a matter of personal choice, but we understand that why Marlowe has portrayed King Edward II as a hero, because his sexuality is not in his control, and I think he declaredly loves his partner. But yeah, we can accuse him that he is a culprit of in the eyes of his wife. So but he has been faithfully shown as a person who is falling prey to his own desires. Then rebellion is also a theme of this play. Spectacle is also spectacle means the show. That is the central issue in this play. Spectacle means complete showing of certain things, not hiding. So this the spectacle of Gaveston in the problem, he has no real power or intelligence, but the fact that he is at the king's right hand, that he wears gaudy clothing and all the other things he has, the powerful people have, that he parades around the court, that is the problem. It disturbs the spectacle of state, undoing sexual, political and linguistic properties. This means that we people are the people of show actually. We feel, for example, suppose there is in a high class people, there is a marriage, and suppose some beggars come in between, then we see that they are disturbing the whole scene, the setting, the spectacle. So Gaveston is you can imagine Gaveston like one who is walking like woman, and how he is disturbing the scene of masculinity around. And now let me talk about the irony in the play. What is the irony? That on one hand we see that king is deceiving his wife, but he is seen as a tragic figure in the jail, where he let me read a whole dialogue where he sees that, "But what are kings when regiment is gone? But perfect shadows in a sunshine day. My nobles rule, I bear the name of king. I wear the crown, but am controlled by them. By Mortimer and my unconstant wife, unconstant queen, who spots my nuptial bed with infamy. So the last two lines of this dialogue where he says that my unconstant queen who spots my nuptial bed. Nuptial means marriage. My marriage bed with infamy. So this is the irony that he himself is in a relationship, outside his marriage. He's breaking the marriage vows, and now he's accusing the queen. So this is, he's playing the card of a victim. Actually, he's making the queen victim. Another important dialogue, let me read. Mortimer says it. Base fortune, now I see that in thy wheel there is a point to which when men aspire. I tumble headlong down, that point I touched, and seeing there was no place to mount up higher, why should I grieve at my declining fall? So he realizes at the end of his life, when he's about to be killed, that he has done wrong. And Edward III, he says in the last Act 1 dialogue, away with her words and force these tears, and I shall pity her if she speaks again. So he seems, very genuinely disconsolate on his mother's death, that she has proven herself traitorous. So we can see that the drama ends with justice, and England is shown in the hands of right person at the end. So this is all about Edward II. I have tried my level best to tell you the summary and the other things which are important as per examination is concerned. Thank you very much.